So I just launched my first rocket on the Reddit 2017 community map. So I thought, what better time than to do a base walkthrough? So the initial base started kind of over this area. We had a little steam thing there. There was a sapphirite patch in here somewhere, but it's all mined out. It's all mined out. We started with a styrotite patch up the top here, which is still going strong. Still going strong. We basically belted all the copper and coal up, copper down, is how we started. So probably the best way to do this is to start. We'll start at the power over here. Oops, research. So we built up some greenhouses to get some infinite wood going. The infinite wood we then bundle up here into these wood briquettes. And they actually come from the Yuoki's mod. So greenhouses are from Bob's. The wooden briquettes are for Yuoki's mods. And these wooden briquettes, let me just pick one up, they have 40 megajoules of energy. So coal, for comparison, is 8. So it it packs all the wood together very nicely, which is quite nice. These red things here are Technics, sorry. They're a Yuoki's thing that go into some of the higher tech things that they have. So we roll it over here, and one of my favorite things about this run was actually these Yuoki's power things. So we've got like these Yuoki's boilers are 3x3 boilers, and they do they consume 3.6 megawatts of energy, and their efficiency is like 70-something%. So a normal boiler is much less than that. I think a normal boiler is like 500-ish, maybe less actually. So so we've got these boilers. We also got these fancy turbines, which put out, I think, 2.3 megawatts, as opposed to a steam engine, which is half a megawatt. So they're much. We're using these. These are some old school ones, which are about 800 megawatts, I think. So once again, still more than steam engines. So we sort of started with these ones and then upgraded. The ratios here are quite different. Normally, you'd have a sort of 14 boilers, 10 steam engines. Here, what I found out sort of by experimentation was that we needed 4 of the big boilers to 5 of these giant turbines, and for that we actually needed 2 pumps per line. Hence this sort of spaghetti here with all the pumps. So that's how we got our power. Now, the way the ores work, so we're dropping all the ores off over here. So we're actually crushing all the ore, dropping it off here, and that's going really quick. Dropping all the ores off here, and then running them through the sort of flotation cells to sort of subsequently refine them. So we have crushed, we go to polished, we get some chunks, and then we get some polished, something, I forget the names, purified, sorry. And so we sort of basically upgrade all the minerals and then feed them back into this warehouse over here. The geodes are kind of waste from this process, these geodes. Eventually these go into gems, but currently we're just warehousing them. We're not doing anything. So as you can see here, we're actually about to run out of space there, which is not good, because it means if that backs up, then we can't do any more processing. So I just added some more warehouse space there. So that all ends up on a train. This train stop's kind of dodgy. And then the trains it all the way back over this side of the base. So on this side of the base, we unload the train over here, and we dump all the ore through these sorters. Now, this is a bit gnarly here, but pretty much the sorter takes like 7 chunks or whatever and converts it into multiple types of things. So for purified, look, we get all these different things here, which means that we get lots of different types on the belt. Now, one of the biggest problems with this is that because the express inserters, we're using express inserters here, but they're really fast, but because they do stack size, they sort of pause, so that you can see here they're going and they're sticking, and they're kind of waiting to pick up more than one thing at the same type, but they're not finding anything, and then they finally go. So it's kind of hard to load these. I did just add a new mod, the loaders mod, so I'm going to try sort of replacing that with loaders sort of on one of my next things. So anyway, we basically load all the ore here into the warehouses. The warehouses then unload, and we've got our iron and copper ore coming over this way. Now for this, I set up smelters, which is an angel sting, and it basically gets you more copper for your. Oh, there we go, loader. This is the one that I just added the mod for. This here, we So the way it works is we actually get more efficiency out of it. I'm just going to stop researching. That's going really quick. We get more efficiency. So we get about rather than a 1-to-1 or 2 plate, we get about a 1-to-1.5. So it is a bit slower and it does take up more space, but that's not supposed to be there. But, we do get more efficiency. So that was pretty good early game. Did the same thing over here for the iron ore. For all of my other, you can actually smelt all of the metals, but I only ended up smelting these ones. So after we've got the iron and copper plate, we belt them back over here, and we get some red science. So that happens over here, copper, and the gear wheels here to give us the red science. We also do green science over here as well. To get green science, we needed circuit boards, which happen up here, so we could use the wood that we were using for the power to come over into here. We've got our copper wire, tin wire. We needed some other materials here. We needed our lead plate, which is coming from this rubite patch, which actually we just ran out of. So that's going to get awkward. We've got enough lead buffered up here that we should be good for a while. But that's something that's going to have to get addressed pretty soon. So we get lead from the tin is belted down from the there's a bobmonium patch up here, which is where we're getting all the tin from. So that's the tin plate there. So that all combines tin. We get carbon from this coal, and that all combines together to get us the electronic components and the electronic boards here. So we only need the basic ones for green science, so that all happens here. We've got the inserter assembler and the belt assembler goes into green science. That's pretty good. For blue science, we needed filter inserters. So that happens up here. This is sort of our inserter line. This is something I wouldn't normally do, but we actually have our logistics. This is my logistics network. This is where I build for my building. Also feeding science, which is a bit dodgy. I wouldn't normally do that. I've done the same thing over here for belt, but I just didn't really have the space or time or energy, so that's how that's set up. So that has to belt all the way over here, because over here is where we have our advanced electronics set up. So for this in Bob's, we need circuit boards, which is what we get here. Circuit boards go down here into the electronics boards. So that's here into our blue science. Steel, we only actually, so funnily enough for this game, we only have two steel furnaces. Steel. Where is it coming from? Oh no, we originally had 2. Now we have 6. So okay, I guess that's a little more reasonable. But one of the interesting things here is far fewer smelting and furnace facilities than we would typically have for a game. In vanilla, you would generally have a lot more than this. For batteries, we needed a sort of weird chemically flow here to get sulfuric acid. So once again, the refinery chains with these mods are much, much longer than you would typically expect. And then the other thing we need is, we've got batteries coming in there. Plastic for the batteries. So the plastic is coming from up here. And the plastic came from a very long refinery chain here, which was kind of ridiculous. So we have to pump stuff out. I have a train that brings in oil as well. But once you get the multi-phase oil, you then, which we're full of, you then need to separate it into oil and gas. The crude oil comes up here, and then the crude oil goes into the refinery, gives you different types of thing. And then the naphtha here goes into the steam cracker to give us propane. The propane becomes plastic. We have some other cracking here to take the fuel oil to make that into propane as well, to make some lubricant. It's basically just a lot more complicated than you would typically expect. So that gives us plastic. We also had to get some silicon plate going here. This is really bad. Down below, I actually have a much better silicon plate setup. One electrolyzer really isn't enough for a really decent setup, but we belted everything across. Did a lot of spaghetti belting in this game. I really enjoy that sort of stuff. Over here, we've got our modules set up. So once again, the modules is a bit more expensive. And in Bob's, we actually have module research. So then we have to put the modules into the lab to research further modules. So we're sort of stuck there a little bit because I need to be able to deliver module cases to the labs for more research, and I just haven't belted that together yet. But we've got all the modules. up here, we've got all the different more modules, eventually till we get to the level 3 modules over on the right here. Down here, we've got the next level of circuit board. So there are, I think, an extra 2 levels of circuit board than you would typically expect. So they come down here, feeds into our rocket control units, and also down here for something. Oh, yeah, and then so in Bob's, we have blue science, we also have dark blue science. So to get that, we needed to get these electronic boards, some silicon nitrate over here, from this chain here, which is processing thermal water, which actually I'll go up and show you in a second, but is way up here. Thermal water is a new addition in Angels, I think. And then we needed these new fancy batteries, the lithium ion batteries that came from all of this. And then we belted all over, and then blue belt as well. So there are the 4 ingredients for this dark blue science. So dark blue science is needed to get to rockets in this game. So once we got dark blue science, we could get to rockets. Then for our rocket, here we are. So I showed you the rocket control units up the top right. The low density structures is pretty straightforward. I just cut some belts off. And then the rocket fuel, it was a giant pain in the ass. It's down here, and it's just like, you can see the refinery chain here. It's just nuts. We needed a heap of stuff to get over here. Down here, we're building, this is creating ammonia. Initially, I tried to do ammonia here using some algae farms, which should still actually be running. I guess I ran out of sulfuric waste, but this is just like a hellaciously slow way to get ammonia. All of this produces less ammonia than these 3 chemical plants down here, which is just stupid. And similar for the algae here, we probably would have been better off using greenhouses to get wood and then put that into cellulose fiber. But either way, rocket fuel took ages and is still the slowest thing that I'm producing. Other things to show off, we've got a slag processing facility up the top here. So we have a train that goes and picks up slag from everywhere and then unloads it. And the slag processing facility here takes all that slag. So slag is a waste product, and converts it into ore. We're actually not picking this ore up yet. We just have a heap of it sitting around that we can use if we ever want to. So we had to get a bit of a train network going for this because we had to, we basically mined through all of the resources in the base. Probably the most exciting one is the thermal water, which I'll just quickly run up to and show you. I think I got a train down here that we can use. There we go. You go to, whoops, not that one. That one. Inventory full. So that go. Another cool thing in Angels, check this train out. How cool is this train? It's a construction train, and so it you can put like a roboport and stuff into it. Not that useful once you've got personal roboport and all that sort of stuff, but still pretty cool. I still kind of like it. You can put a heap of stuff in here. Look, I got a shield generator, roboport, fusion reactor, all sorts of stuff. I just really love the look of this train. That was sort of a recurring theme in Angels. Just a lot of really cool, nice little sprites. So look at this. We got a thermal water extractor, which is just cranking along there. We have a heap. I guess we'll throw some modules in it. May as well make it go faster. But yeah, that was a new addition to the game, which I kind of wasn't expecting. The heavy pump here. So still to go. We haven't really looked at any of the Yuoki stuff yet. I got a pretty good look at all of the Angels bits and pieces. But yeah, pretty excited to launch a rocket. We're 1 day and 20 hours in. I think next up, we're going to redo the mineral refining, get Yuokis going. I've still got so much to do on this factory. Launching the rocket, I've just got so much to clean up now that I've done that. But anyway, that's a tour of the base, and this is what a spaghetti together Angels and Bob's Yuoki's rocket can look like.